Hi guys and gals, it's Mike White with Xcart Guru. Well, I'm here with another WordPress tutorial. I've been making a series of tutorials on WordPress. My last one was about installing WordPress on your local machine, and this one is going to be about customizing that WordPress installation with a child theme, creating the child theme, and then going further and actually making changes to the site to make it your own. So I'm developing these WordPress tutorials to help anybody in the WordPress community, but also specifically for the members of the Xcart community that might be interested in using WordPress and getting started with that application as well. So here we are looking at the installation of WordPress that we created in the last tutorial. So this is just exactly how it comes. The site name is local WordPress. And what we need to do is we need to log into the admin side of the site and go ahead and change the theme to one of the preset themes that we want to build a child theme off of, and then proceed to build that theme. Now often there'll be a login button in your WordPress right here, but if you don't have one, you can always just go to wp-login.php, and you're going to put in your administrator username and password that we created in the last tutorial, and that takes us to our WordPress dashboard. So we want to hover over Appearance and click Themes. Now this is the latest theme, and this may be the one that you're building off of, or you may have downloaded a theme that you want to build off of from another site. So that's all fine, whatever theme you want to choose. I'm going to go with 2013. Not too many people like the colors of this theme, but I really like the simplicity of it and the responsiveness of it. It's very easy for me to adapt this into a custom design for any website. I'm currently using it for xcartguru.com. So as you saw me do, just click on the theme that you want and activate it. And we're just going to pop over to the editor section real quick just to look at it. So in the editor section, you can see all the templates that make up this 2013 theme. And we don't want to change any of these templates. We want to not edit this theme directly, but we want to create a child theme. And the reason for that is because the 2013 template is going to be upgraded from time to time, and we can download and install those updates from WordPress. But we don't want the changes and the upgrades to overwrite our changes, and we never want to edit a core file. So we want to go ahead and just create a child theme, so that if this 2013 theme does get updated, our child theme, it may need its own custom updating, but it at least won't get overwritten and lost. So we have this installation of WordPress running on our local host, and we're just going to navigate to the htdocs folder of our XAMPP installation. So we're at local disk C XAMPP htdocs, and that's the public facing folder for the local web server. And I'm going to find the folder that I'm working in, which is WordPress install to. So this is the folder WordPress is installed to. And we see the familiar WP admin, WP content, WP includes. Now WP content is one of the most important folders here. It has all the themes, pretty much everything that you've uploaded or created in WordPress is going to be in the WP-content folder. So let's look at the themes. And here's the 3 default themes that came installed. And I am just going to create a new folder here for our new theme, and we're going to call it 2013, and then the name of our installation, we're going to call it Guru, because I'm the Xcart Guru. There we go. Oh, we don't need that dash. We want to name it exactly like its parent, so let's just get rid of that. Perfect. So to create the theme and to link it back to its parent, which is the 2013, we just need to go into the folder and make a new file. I'm going to make a new text document, and I'm going to name it style.css. Yes, I do. All right. Now I'm just going to right-click on that file and open it with Sublime Text 2. Sublime Text is a really nice text editor, and I highly recommend it. I mean, it just makes your life a lot easier if you're doing things of this nature. But you can use any text editor that you have. I prefer that it not be the Windows default Notepad. I'd like it to be, Sublime Text or Notepad++ or something else out there that you like to use. Okay, and I prepared this code ahead of time, and I'm going to explain it to you. First off, obviously we have just the theme name, we need to paste this code into our style.css to link it to the parent. And so we have Xcart Guru is my theme name here. The URI, and I've changed this to 2013 child. I actually took this code from the 2014 example at WordPress.org. Okay, so the author is Mike White. Here's a description of it. This is all really self-explanatory. The template is 2013. That's important. And the text domain is 2013 child. That's important. And here we have at import URL 2014. That's wrong. We want to make it 2013 because that's what we're basing this off of. Okay, I'm just going to click Control or hit Control S to save. So now we just pop back over to WordPress and we're going to go to Themes, and we'll see our new theme has been added right here. So I'm going to, we don't have a screenshot yet. We can create one later after we've edited our theme. But I'm going to go ahead and activate that theme, and I'm going to visit the front end of the site. And we see the theme is active, but we don't see a change because we haven't made any changes. But we are now using the newly created Xcart Guru theme. Okay, so that's all it really takes. Now you can proceed to start editing your theme however you like. And I'm going to give you some examples, just some simple changes that we're going to make to make this our own. And don't take this as an example of my design skills. I'm not spending any time thinking about it. We're just going to throw some changes out there and see what we can affect quickly and easily. Okay, so the first thing we're going to affect is this hello world text here. This is like the main post text that we're seeing right here on the home page. And I've just hit right-clicked and hit Inspect Element. I'm using Google Chrome, and I'm using Chrome's inspector to be able to see what controls, what CSS is controlling this section, so that we know what we need to change. So when I right-click and inspect an element, it highlights it down here in the Elements tab, and we can see over here in the Styles tab what is currently controlling the color. And let's see, what if we just change it right here? We can just click. I'm double clicking to select that, and I've got a pretty blue color that I picked out in Photoshop, and you can see right in the inspector it's changed the color. The hover color hasn't changed, but the base color for the anchor tag here has changed to blue. I also think that the size is a little bit excessive. I'm going to see if I can tell what the size is currently. There we go, font size 48 pixels. I'm going to back that down to something a little more realistic, I think. We still want it big, but 36 pixels is plenty for me. Okay, so we've affected some changes right in the inspector, but we need these changes to stick. We need them to stay around after we refresh the page. So I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to pop back over to Sublime Text, and right here below this line on line 19 or 20, I'm going to paste that in. Now I didn't want to affect the margin, I just wanted to affect the font size. And so now I have this H1 an opening brace, font size 36px. Okay, and we also wanted the color that we set it to. So I'm just going to come up here and select this entry right here, copy it over to Sublime Text, and just paste that in. Alright, so we'll just save our style sheet, Control S, and we'll go back to WordPress and refresh, and we saw no change because now those changes are permanent. So if we look over here, we can see that the settings we just set are now what's being returned, because our style sheet is overriding the 2013 style sheet and affecting our changes that we're making. So now let's turn our attention to the header up here. When I look here in the header, I have this H1 site title local WordPress, and so that is great. They've got an H1 link up there. That's probably where I want to put my logo. So I want to go ahead and remove that H1 and insert my logo. Now I could do this completely with CSS. We could hide the text of this H1 perhaps, and then maybe assign a background to the header. We could just completely strip this thing with CSS and using nothing more than our style sheet. But I think that I actually don't want this H1 at the top of my page. I'd rather the first H1 on the page be whatever the entry title is, rather than the name of the site. So I don't want to have two H1s on a page. It just doesn't stand good for SEO purposes. I'd like to replace this with my logo. Okay, so just looking through the HTML, I'm going to pretend I don't know how to do this and show you how to find a change like this and where to make the change. I see this header class equals entry header, and that is the entire section. No, that's not the section. I want to be up here. I'm sorry. Header ID equals masthead. There we go. And that is the entire section that's controlling this. And inside that, I see my local WordPress and all the other HTML that I want to affect. So I can pretty much assume that somewhere in the code, this header ID equals masthead is what I want. So I'm going to hit edit as HTML just so I can easily copy that snippet. And I'm just going to hit Control-C to copy that to my clipboard. And I'm going to show you another very nice function of Sublime Text is we can just recursively search for what we're looking for. So I know that I need to go into my folder WordPress install, and I know it's in the WP content, and I know it's in the themes. It's not in the 2013 Guru theme we've just created. That just has one file in it, style.css. But it's most likely in this 2013 theme, somewhere where that header is defined. So I'm just going to click Find in Folder and paste in the text that I'm looking for and hit Find. And I get one match in one file, and it's in 2013 header.php. Okay? So I don't want to edit this file directly, but I'm just going to click right here and go into the file, open it up, and then we'll save it. And we'll save it as, not inside 2013, but back up to themes and in our 2013 Guru theme. So we just want this to override the template that's being, it's pulling in from the parent theme. So we'll just save it right there. Okay, so we don't have to understand all the code in this file, but we can see that the HTML document is starting. Here's the opening tag. And we can see the body is starting, so that's the visible part of the page. And then we see div ID page, and we see header ID masthead. Aha! This is the section that we want to remove or comment out. So we could just use HTML comments to remove this, but I think Google still reads those, so I'm just going to obliterate it. We'll just take out that entire H1 right there, and we need to replace it with some code. So I want to use this super cool logo that's from my favorite 3D editing application, Blender. And here I found a transparent background image, which is great, because I want to just stick this right over and not see like a white background. And so I'm going to view the image and then save the image as, and I'll save it to my project folder. So I'm just going to assume that you're not familiar working with logos, or you don't already have a logo the right size. This tutorial is all inclusive. So we're going to prepare this and put it on the site. Now I'll be working with Photoshop, so I'm just going to open this logo with Photoshop. But you could use any image editing application. GIMP is a great one, and it's free, and there's many others out there, but Photoshop is my preference. So right away I can see that I have a transparent background. There's a little bit of a shadow down there, and that's fine. So I need to expand my canvas. So I'm going to go to Image, Canvas Size, and anchor here on the left, and just give us a little bit of room to type our logo name, our company name. So let's make it 3,000 pixels wide, and we'll zoom out a bit. So I'm just going to choose a light color, and then I'm going to grab the text tool and left align it and make sure we have a decent text size at least. It's probably too small to start with, which I can barely see on this background. So to fix that, I'm going to add a layer, and we'll just do a new layer and drag it below both of these layers. I'll hide this layer later, but we'll just go ahead and get black and dump some paint on it so we can see that I mistyped a really great company. Okay, so something is messed up. Oh, here we go. I just want this set to auto. There we go. And then we can adjust the size. Let's make it 300 pixels. That's probably too big. Yep. Let's make it 200 pixels. Perfect. So here we have our corporate logo. Okay, so I'm just going to turn off that background layer that I didn't want. And I'm just going to hit Image Trim and trim it on the transparent pixels, so to get rid of all the extra space that we don't need. And then I'm going to hit File, Save for Web and Devices. And since I want to preserve transparency, I want it to be a ping 24. I definitely don't need it that big. Let's try something like 300 pixels wide. That's a pretty reasonable size. So it's going to be 300 pixels by 106 pixels. Okay, so let's save this. And where are we going to save it? We're going to go to the htdocs folder that we've been working in. So, I'm back in the htdocs inside WordPress install. Okay, inside WP content, inside themes, in our 2013 Guru theme, I'm going to make a new folder. And I'm going to call it images. All right. We're going to go into that folder and we're going to save this as logo.png. There we go. Save. So now I've flipped back over to the Sublime Text 2, to the header.php in our child theme that we're editing. And we are going to put this image source code that I've found pre-prepared. And basically what it does is, just img src equals blog info template directory. That's how we can get to this PHP call right here is how we can get to our template directory. And then inside the images folder. And then we need to put the path to our image. So in our case, it's logo.png. And so I could be assigning a width and a height to this. I'm not going to worry about that right now. We just want to see the logo show up. So I'm just going to hit Control S and save the file and go back and reload the page. Oh, and it's not showing up. Okay. That code that I showed you echoes the 2013 directory. And I like to do this. I'd like to show my mistakes in my tutorials just as I make them so that it helps you if you ever make them. So yes, that's the wrong piece of code. Let's see what we really need. Let's try this get style sheet directory URI. Let's see what that returns. We want to echo that. So let's just save this. And we'll go back and we'll refresh. And there's our logo. Okay, so we're making some changes. And we're doing this with this code rather than putting the entire path because we want to keep this relative. So once we take this site online, we want this same code to still work. And this, instead of specifying an absolute path, including the local host where it's installed right now, it'd be much better to do this get style sheet directory URI. Okay. Okay, so all this is working great, but this doesn't look good against this background. And additionally, we have this extra space here that we don't really need, so we want to tighten this up. So we're going to look and see what affects that. So here's the header ID masthead, and we can see it's got a site header background. All right. And now, I'm going to teach you a little more about this inspector. It's telling us where this is coming from. So this is coming from index 38. So if we look in here, I think if we look in the head, that's saying that it's from this actual page, and it's on the 38th line of the code. So if we, let's view the page source. I think that's going to be easiest. We'll right-click and view the page source, and we'll look at line 38. And we see there's a style sheet actually a style being defined in the head of the document. So this is not coming from the style sheet. This is actually coming in the document itself, and we have this style being applied. So There's many ways we could take care of this. We could write our CSS to actually, override this and be more specific about the background. Let's see what unchecking this background does. Just what we expect. It makes it white. We'd like to change the color to something dark. So I'm just going to copy all of this. We'll bring that over. And we'll go to our style.css and we'll paste all of that in here. All right. Just a little cleanup. And I'm going to just specify pound header dot site header. So now we're referencing it more specifically. And I don't need this URL. Get rid of that. And we will just give it a color, 3333. That'll be a nice dark black color. And then we will just say none as the URL. So the background is this color and none. Background size, I wish that wasn't getting assigned, but we could just tell it to be auto. All right, let's save that and let's go see what the results are. Refresh. And it didn't have any effect. I think it's because I assigned the wrong ID. I put pound header. Here we have header ID equals masthead. There's many ways we could get more specific, and I'm just not showing the right way. We're going to try pound masthead dot site header rammed up on each other. So let's tackle the issue of the color of this H2 right here. And so let's look and see what color is being defined. And I'm just looking for a color. Here we go. Dot site editor dot home link. I'm just going to copy that piece. We'll bring that over here. Paste that in. Close the bracket because I didn't copy that last one. And we'll just make this white. All right. Refresh. There we go. And now what about the height of this header? So I just right-clicked here in the open space, and it's selecting A, class home link. So that's probably the element that's so tall. And I'm just looking over here for height to be defined somewhere. I don't see it initially. Oh, here we go. It's right up here at the top. There's a minimum height. And so what height do I really want to go for? Let's just select this minimum height and back it off until I see what I'm looking for. That looks good. So let's just make it 160 px. And I was just holding shift and pushing the down arrow on my keyboard to make that change. So we'll just copy all of this and bring that into our style sheet as well. And we don't need to define all of these styles. We'll just define the minimum height. And save that. And come over here and refresh. And now it's fixed in place. Okay. I think you can see how this is going and how I would tackle all of these projects. And we just keep going on down the page and defining each thing and getting everything just the way we want it. So I hope this has been extremely helpful for you in getting started customizing your own child theme and building the site of your dreams. So as always, good luck in all your e-commerce efforts. Mike White signing off. Hope to talk to you soon.